Hello, YouTube Nation. This is the Horsemen Hangout for April the 1st, 2015. A lot to get to tonight. It is 1 week before the Major League Baseball season starts, but more importantly, we are coming off one of the most exciting, positive weeks in recent WWE history. WrestleMania 31 from the Bay Area, Levi Stadium, followed up by Raw the next night. A lot to talk about. And we got to get started, but before we do, let's just introduce you to who is on the show. We have all four horsemen here tonight. What a special treat it is, and also the fifth seat of the four horsemen. First off, we have Mr. Z from the Physical Horseman Hangout. What's up, Z?
Nothing much, Mr. J. Looking forward to a good show, WrestleMania week.
All right, and live from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Stephen Page. How's the Wi-Fi? You there? All right, I think he's there. Okay, there he is. What's up? Rue TV right there, drinking a beer. What's going on, Rue?
I've been better. I'm really excited about talking about Mania, but I got some bad news about one of my former classmates. But I'll get into that a little later on. But I just kind of shocked by the news. But we can go. That's besides the point. Nobody really cares. So just keep going, please.
Your classmates as in Delsey? 99?
Yes, and I don't feel like talking right now. So.
All right. Well, we'll get back to that here. And Mr. Lane, how's it going there, sir?
Well, sorry about the delay. I had to get my prizes here. I just bought a couple more of these beautiful tasty cakes right here. So I got these earlier today. I actually got them earlier today. You know, at Rite Aid, they were about $3 each. So I wanted to make sure I had some fresh tasty cakes, basically. So
right.
that's.
We're going to get to the results portion of this. We're going to definitely talk about the WrestleMania Mike Lane Challenge. But I wanted to kick off things by posing a situation to you guys. Okay, you are all teachers in high school. Okay, and your students hand you a paper, and the paper reads WrestleMania 31. And you've had time, you got it on Sunday night, you've had time to read over the paper, you'd have time to examine it and watch it over again. If you had a chance, well, you have to grade the paper because you have to get it back to the student. What would you give the paper entitled WrestleMania 31? And I don't want a big explanation. All I want is a grade, and we'll just go down the line and see what you give WrestleMania 31. Mr. Z.
B+.
B+, all right. Mr. Page.
I will give it a B+ as well. I really enjoyed it.
All right, Mr. Rue TV.
I'm usually always disappointed with WrestleMania, or my hopes are let down. And I think, other than I'm not going to count the Triple H outcome because that's ego. But overall, that match was entertaining as heck, and the entire pay-per-view was. I'm going to give it an A.
All right.
No, you know what? No, listen. A-.
A- for Mr. Rue TV. Mr. Lane.
I'm gonna say A- as well. Like I said, I say between.
Hey, man, you said B+ last.
I know what I said on your Vine video, but I'm changing it. Darn it! It's an A-.
Okay, A-. I'm gonna go A-. Also, B+ is a good grade, but I'll go A- with that. Great, a lot of high spots, a lot of great things that come from WrestleMania. My biggest fear is they're not able to carry this momentum that they've built up with WrestleMania and Raw. But I mean, there's so much to talk about. Let's just kick things off with what happened with the WrestleMania #WrestleMania challenge over Mr. Lane's house, which I was unable to attend due to a birthday party for my fiance. But Mr. Lane, I mean, you carried this out perfectly. You know, it was a great challenge. You know, you had great prizes. You're a great host. Let's just talk about the final tally and how it came to be.
Well, glad y'all brought it up. Now I have the final scores right here, gentlemen, right there. See, as you can see right there, Rue has 3 points. Justin only got one right. Sorry, host.
Oh,
but.
good.
And Z had 5 correct. Yay, Z. Nice. And then also I finished. Yours truly finished in second place with 4 wins, And then Stephen Page got 3 wins.
All right. And what did Mr. Z win?
And Mr. Z has the grand prize of these beautiful tasty cakes right here, where you can take them to your Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, where they probably sell plenty of these, sir. So as you can see, I don't know if y'all can see me, but right there, you got the candy cakes, and then you also got the crumpets. Beautiful.
Love those
Beautiful
crumpets.
stuff.
All right. Now I was informed via the Twitter that our champion of the WrestleMania Challenge would like to issue a statement regarding the challenge. Now, I have no idea what the nature of this statement will be, but I'll turn it over to Mr. Z regarding the statement. Z?
Well, thank you all for the congratulations and the many accolades that came my way after I won the WrestleMania Challenge. I think it really turned with the Randy Orton over Seth Rollins pick. That kind of left me a leg up on everybody. Also, I was the only one to pick Paige and AJ, so that's where I beat y'all. But my official announcement when it comes to the prize, I as a resident of New Jersey in the greater Philadelphia area, as well as the 3 other horsemen, we get to share these tasty cakes and have them on a daily basis, whereas our pal up north, actually south now, in South Carolina, Steve has never had a tasty cake before. So what I'd like to do with my winnings, because who am I to deny a friend the glorious taste of tasty cakes? So I ask that the runner of the pool, Mr. Lane, his WrestleMania pool, will please deliver the prize to Steve so he can enjoy them under one condition. One condition. I want an unboxing video, and I want Steve's review of the tasty cakes.
On his YouTube channel.
On his YouTube channel. Can that happen, Mr. Page?
That can happen, yes.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Share
Awesome.
the wealth. Sharing the wealth. That's what it's all about.
Will you be the messenger? Will you be able to package these things and ship them off?
Well, Steve and I can talk about that in private. So I'll take care of the business right there in private. So Steve and I can talk about this, and I'll, gladly make sure that he gets some fresh, tasty cakes here. Make sure these are good. I'll send them straight to New England if I can do that. I shall. So
Question I have is, are they fresh?
yeah, well, I check the dates on them. See, I make sure that they're fresh personally. I just bought a couple of the crumpets earlier today at Rite Aid. So now they got one. There's one tasty cake here. I have them right here as I can read the dates. One has April 13th. I don't know if you can see the date. I'll show it to you right here, if y'all could see that right there. That April 13th, and then you got another one that's going to be expired April 6th right here. But then I also got some crumpets, a couple of them, right here that'll expire on the 22nd. So I got some fresh crumpets today, so I made sure that I got some fresh ones.
Make sure you don't have to send them as the freshest as possible.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I want to make sure they're fresh for Steve. I want him to make sure he has a fair shot.
No, I just want to ask about the nature of this.
True Philadelphia delicacy. Not as good as the cheesesteak, but damn close.
I just want to know the nature of this shipping and handling. I mean, is it going to be standard FedEx? Is it going to be overnight? Is it going to be, they also, the saying is, heavy as the head that wears the crown. Mr. Z, as the
crown.
Who will be paying for the shipping and handling? I mean, those are some heavy, tasty.
I would gladly reimburse Mr. Lane for the postage. I suggest the United States Postal Service.
That's what I'm going to do.
My father was a longtime employee there, and they have flat rate boxes that could definitely fit those tasty cakes. I'd be happy to repay Mr. Lane for the postage.
All right, now here's my question, guys. Now granted, these are now officially Steve's Tasty Cakes. My question is Torino GT 1969 allowed to have a crumpet or two?
A crumpet? Who's the user again? GT 1969?
All right, well, that's otherwise known as the legend Steve's Papa. He was on the show last week. Is he allowed to have a crumpet or two, or a tasty cake or two?
I was gonna mail him up to New England. Of course he can.
All right,
yes.
just checking.
Okay.
Yes.
There you have it. So we look forward to the unboxing there and your response to our delicacy of the tasty cakes. My favorite is the candy cake. The crumpet's good, but the tasty cake. So, anyway, all right, let's move on to the subjects at hand here, which is WrestleMania weekend. Before we get into the event itself, I hope I don't freeze here. Let's talk a little bit about Saturday night, which I was unable to see live, but I caught Sunday morning on the replay. As good as WrestleMania was, the event, I think the Hall of Fame might have left a little bit to be. Oh no, did I freeze? No, I'm here.
No, you're good.
A little bit too desired. I'll go right to Rue on his thoughts. Please keep it brief on the Hall of Fame, please.
I thought it was pretty boring, honestly. I thought it was a long, drawn-out 4 hours. At the same time, I don't think they should censor speeches. They should let guys go on as far as they want to. But I don't know. I liked Murkishi's speech. I guess Nasser's was what it was, and Savage's was BS. I mean, all due respect to his brother who wrote a nice poem, I think that was BS to have Hogan induct him. Confirmed my suspicions that it was a big passive-aggressive play to slap Randy in the face one more time. That was a joke.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't seem very genuine on the part of Hogan. Mr. Z, did you get a chance to catch the Hall of Fame?
I didn't get a chance to see Hogan's induction of the Macho Man. I did watch like a couple of the speech recaps that the WWE put out on their YouTube channel. I did get to see the full event, so I really don't have too much to comment on. I haven't had time to sit down and actually watch it yet, which I plan on doing sometime this week when I take some time off from work for the holiday. But just been talking to you guys about it, I definitely got the sense that it wasn't as entertaining as Hall of Fame's past. But, you know, I did watch the Daniel Bryan when he inducted the little boy Connor, and that was really really a good speech by Bryan. He admitted, you know, that wrestling is fake, and, you know, that this you know, this was a real story about a real person. So that was really interesting and hit home to hear you know, the biggest star in the company go out and tell everyone watching that what he does is fake. But
Whoa! Breaking news here on the Horsemen Hangout. Wrestling's fake. Wait.
What are you talking about, Z?
I should have prefaced that. I'm sorry, guys.
Wait! You're breaking my heart.
Are movies fake?
It's still real.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Thank you for saying what needed to be said.
But that's my Hall of Fame. If I ruined your take on wrestling, I do apologize. Just think of it as an April Fool's joke.
All right, Steve. I'm sure you've seen the Hall of Fame. I hope you did. Best speech.
Yes, I saw the Hall of Fame. I thought
best speech in your opinion.
Best speech, in my opinion, I would definitely give it to Medusa. Hands down. She did a great job. It was, you know, she explained why she's not in wrestling anymore. She's doing her monster truck thing. She made a joke of, you know, something that Eric Bischoff had made her do in WCW. You know, you could sense that she really didn't want to do that, but she just kind of did. You know, sometimes you do things you don't want to do for your boss. And, you know, it was lighthearted. She brought out the trash can, pulled the title out of it. I thought it was very good. The speech that I did not like, and it might be shocking to most, but I really don't know. Not like the guy just, you know, I think he was San Martino.
All right.
Put him over.
Yeah, you were breaking up a little bit there at the end, but thanks for your insights there on the Hall of Fame. Let's go a little bit. Let's go to Sunday. There's a lot to talk about. And I'll go, Mr. Lane. I didn't forget about you. I'll go to you first.
Well, I think I have to agree with Steve. The best speech was, I think, Medusa, because I think she buried the hatchet a little bit with the WWE fans, you know, because Steve was absolutely right about a solid point that he brought up, is that Eric Bischoff forced Medusa to throw the belt in the trash can. She didn't throw it away on purpose because she hated WWE at the time, yada yada yada. That wasn't the case. Eric Bischoff told her to throw that belt in the trash, and you know, even Bischoff admitted it. Bischoff even said, you know, he admitted that he told her that part. And you know, it was an alright show. I mean, I've seen better Hall of Famers. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. You know, What else? The Sabisco one was all right. I mean, I've seen better. You know. Um,
Sure. What about Hideki Iwakuma? He was great.
I thought he was all right too. That was fine.
But whatever. All right, let's move on. So, like I said, there's a lot to talk about. WrestleMania 31. So many highlights, but I don't want to miss anything. So I will start by saying the Intercontinental IC belt that Daniel Bryan took the championship, won the white belt there. Great match. It was a great finish there at the end with him and Ziggler headbutting. And man, I just wanted to say, I think of both nights, WrestleMania and Raw afterwards, I think the Raw match with Bryan and Ziggler might have been the best match of both nights, which says a lot to those guys. I mean, Rue, your comments on the ladder match and the Raw match. Did you enjoy the match on Raw?
Yeah, they worked together pretty well. I think they should consider doing a little series, maybe a pay-per-view series with Ziggler and Bryan, maybe a standard match. But they could. They're so entertaining that they could even go. And I know Bryan would love to do this. Maybe do an Iron Man match between eventually down the line. Do a 60-minute match, or maybe a what was that match that Hunter used to do? No,
3 Stages of Hell.
Something like that. Anything. Yeah, I think you. In other words, you can get a lot out of those two. I think they work together well. Yes, that match on Raw was awesome, and as was the ladder match. Very good stuff.
Yeah. We'll get into Raw later, but I don't understand. Maybe it's the crowd, but every year WWE puts on a great show the night after Raw, and they have wrestling matches, hashtag support wrestling, and it's entertaining, and then the next week they'll have one good match, and then the rest is just trash. But anyway, all right, I need Mr. Z. Let's talk Randy Orton, Seth Rollins. What stood out to you? I thought the finish was amazing. It was a video game finish, but what were your thoughts on that?
The finish was awesome. Rollins really opened my eyes at the Royal Rumble when he had that triple threat match with Brock Lesnar and John Cena for the title. I thought that was, for me, when Seth Rollins really arrived. But I thought, Randy Orton can be stale at times, but Randy Orton can also be pretty good in the ring when he's in the right match, and I think he had the right, opponent. And Rollins, they put on a good match. Like you said, the best part of the match, obviously, was the finish. Like you said, video game finish, crazy. Curb stomp into the air into an RKO.
That was
awesome.
I definitely agree with, not to cut you off, Z, but I definitely agree with one thing you just said. When he's in the ring with the right opponent, because he couldn't have had that match if he was in there with somebody like maybe the Big Show or Rusev. Like, a lot of that match goes to Rollins selling and weight. So I mean, you're absolutely right. When he's in there with the right opponent like Seth Rollins, he can have an awesome match. Not to saying that Orton can't have a good match without, a guy carrying him or selling big time for him, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, if he's in there with a stiff, it's going to be a stiff and stale match.
Right.
It's interesting, though. You talk about Randy Orton. Sometimes he's on and off. It's weird because I think that one of the reasons why he's back over is because of the internet and that whole RK out of nowhere thing. Kids, I was talking to my future brother-in-law, and he's a baseball coach, and he says the kids on his high school baseball team, all they do during warm-ups is give each other's RKOs out of nowhere. So it's just funny how the internet has made that. But anyway, because his stock was kind of dropping, but I feel like it's on the rise again. Steve, after the Orton match, what were your thoughts? Did you still think that Rollins was going to cash in at Mania, or did you think, all right, well, that was a great match? Where was your brain going after that? What were you thinking?
I was still up to believe that maybe they were going to do it on Monday Night Raw. Obviously, I was wrong, as we will get to later. It was good, as like everybody else has said, but yeah, I thought they were going to do Monday Night Raw. Get that Monday Night Raw crowd after Mania.
Okay, yeah.
Usually do something special.
Yeah, so I mean, it was pretty surprising.
Well, anyway, I'll be right back. I gotta go get my power cord. My computer's running out of battery.
All right. I'm gonna go to Mr. Lane now. Moving on to the next match. Very, very controversial match. Probably spend some time talking about this. But Mr. Lane, this match is Triple H taking on the Vigilante Sting. You know, your W. It's almost like we're split at the seams. Your WCW versus our WWF of the day.
Right.
Now, Triple H gets the win.
Right.
You know, not only did he get the win, but you know, he gets the handshake from Sting afterwards. But it was a pretty good match. It was entertaining. You know, with the DX and NWO. People were confused as why NWO would come out and help Sting, but you know, it's WCW, so whatever. Hogan comes out, the NWO. But you, being a former WCW fan, how did you see the match in general and the ending?
Well, first off, I thought that and this was a little shocker to me. I don't know if people knew about this or not. I knew like prior to or like during the show anyway, and I saw it a little bit on some Twitter pages. They were saying that the Sting Triple H match was going to be a no disqualification match, which was, of course, advantage Triple H, of course, but and not to brag about. There's a couple things I got to get off my chest about this. Steve was the only person I know for a fact that did pick Triple H to win that match, just for facts. Having said that, in life and in wrestling, in my opinion, I think that this is why it does not get an A+ in my opinion. I know you have to have your balance of heels and faces to win matches in wrestling. However, I think the WWE to a degree, I think messed this one up. I think Sting should have won. This was his first match in WWE. Fans for years and years and years and years have been asking for Sting. Instead, he went to TNA, wrestled himself for a while. He wrestled with some of the veterans in TNA. Now, I have an interesting story, true story, about Sting and a wrestling fan. Now, I'll explain this one too. The last time I went to a Raw show, this was the day after Cena had won Royal Rumble MSG. It was 7 years ago, 2008.
Let's hear this.
Now, I wanted. Well, there was a young wrestling fan, years ago, who was like maybe about a row or two ahead of us. He had a Sting sign at the time saying, "We want Sting." This was 8 years ago now that I'm talking about.
Now this young wrestling fan was you. You reveal it as yourself, right?
This was a wrestling fan that I saw when I was at the Raw show back in 2008, in Philadelphia.
Describe this fan. What did he look like?
Did he have a mustache?
He might have been like maybe 6, 7, 8 years old, a youngster, but he had a sign straight up that said, "We want Sting," and this was 2008.
That show, was it a Horsemen show?
No. This was with when I was with Eric the Arch, Jimmy V, and Nick Bierman at the time, because I went to Raw with them years ago. This was like years ago. I think you guys said you all went to that show at the time. I think it was, but I think and I'm entitled to my opinion on this. I still think the WWE dropped the ball on this, in my opinion, for that match, because I don't think Triple H would have won a fair fight. You had the run-in, of course, NWO DX, which was a surprise. I wasn't expecting that as a wrestling fan. I was saying, what the heck are these two generations of wrestlers doing in a run-in? That was a curveball.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. I'm going to pass the torch here. Rue, buy or sell Eric the Arch.
Is that you say Rue?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm going to go to Rue, but what I want to ask you is the significance of the handshake at the end. You like to comment a lot about the inside, backstage stuff. What went down? Why did that have to go down? And why did Sting... besides the money he received, explain the handshake, the significance of it. What did it actually mean to Triple H or Sting?
That's all. That was all ego too, because the vibe that I got was it was like, okay, I'm the man. You showed me something, so I'm gonna give you a rub because you're giving you a handshake. It's sort of like when giving a perfect example when maybe like if a John Cena was in the ring with I don't know, one of the Lucha Dragons, and he really puts him through the rigors, and then afterwards John Cena says, "Oh, you got something, kid." I'm like, really? Like, that's the vibe that I got from it. It's just another way to say that we are the crap, the shit, whatever, I'll say it, and you aren't. So it's just a lot of political crap, man, and that's pretty much all it is. And I'm not surprised by it. I know Mr. Lane was very irate at that finish, as was I and Mr. Z.
Did anybody catch
Yep.
the network exclusive, the Sting interview? Because I went to sleep after all.
That was basically Sting was in the ring. It was a live interview in the ring. He went to the ring, cut a promo, short little promo for about a minute. Then Bo, which is like, this is another typical example of politics. Instead of having Sting on the show, maybe having him cut a shoot promo or maybe having him in a hot angle, they have him on the network after in the ring, and Bo Leave, what is his name? Bo
Dallas.
Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas comes out, cuts a promo, his basic stuff, interrupts Sting. Then Sting gives Bo Leave the Scorpion Death Drop, and then I believe that was it. I think Sting might have said one more word on the mic, and that was it. So that's just another perfect example. They don't think that he's valuable enough to be in a top angle, so let's go with Bo Dallas and at the end of on the network.
Pop, yeah. All right, well, I'm going to throw it to somebody who also feels strongly about this. You could say maybe one of Triple H's top supporters. Steve, were you okay with this ending in this match? How'd you feel about it? It was a great match. We all can agree. But
the match was good. I get what Rue's kind of saying, but I think, the handshake was a little bit weird. I don't know if it was all what Rue said. It could be. But I just think the handshake didn't need to happen. I was listening to Steve Austin's podcast. Great podcast, by the way. He was reviewing it, and he brought up, why would you take the man's hand after he hit you with a sledgehammer?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's dirty, so why would you shake his hand? It makes
Dumb
sense.
booking.
But
There was no reason. Nothing. What was gained by having Triple H win?
Yeah, I mean, if I could just add my 2 cents real quick, because I'm sure you covered this while I was getting my power cord. But I definitely enjoyed the match. It was great to see the NWO and DX get involved. Shawn Michaels is my favorite, so I was glad that he showed up at WrestleMania. But this was definitely an ego move, not only on the part of Triple H, but on WWE to really bury WCW one last time. And I'm a Triple H fan. I think some of the decisions he makes are pretty good. Others, not so much. But I saw it as a complete ego move.
I'm going to add one last thing, and then I'll hang up. Not really, but I think we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, because obviously Triple H has a lot of stroke, but we're forgetting that it could have been Mr. Vince McMahon who made the call of who went over in that match.
Yeah.
He's still in charge of the company, and from what I heard, that's just the way he operates. And like literally what JBL was saying, like his stupid ass, we won again. We won, like it's so childish and so awful. But the reality is that's how the wrestling business is. Like they are that political and that lame and that school. They are like that, and they take business is not to take a word from Mr. Z, because it is fake. They'll take any real victory that they can. So we beat our last WCW morsel.
Yeah, right. But it's over. Like they in actual life they really did win. They bought WCW, so there's no need to do.
No.
It's just whatever. But all right. Moving on here. Still a lot to talk about. I don't know. There's not much to talk about with Rusev and Cena besides Mr. Lane, your boy. Rusev Lane received his first loss of his career. One of the great entrances, came in on the tanks.
That was my favorite entrance of the night, by the way.
It was great. I mean, but one thing I wanted to talk about, and a lot of blogs have talked about this, is you got Daniel Bryan with the Intercontinental belt, John Cena with the U.S. belt. Love him or hate him. It looks like the WWE is really making a concerted effort to have these belts mean something, and I think they do. I think they actually have some weight to them. So I'm glad to see that. Where they go from here, I'm not sure. But what's the future? for Rusev now. I mean, I can't remember. Was he on Raw? He didn't answer the challenge.
Yeah, he squashed Goldust on Raw.
That's right. He beat
Oh,
Goldust. Yeah. I was something else.
Must have missed that one.
Hey, I wanted to ask you guys, since it was such a great crowd, what was your favorite chant from the crowd on Raw Monday night? Anybody? I like the New Day.
New Day sucks. Yeah.
New Day sucks.
I just like
They've been doing that for months though. They've been doing that for like several months though. I know that they chant like New Day sucks. New Day. They were chanting it at WrestleMania. If you noticed it.
I also want to throw out Sheamus with the heel turn. What did Rue? What did you think? And the reason why I thought of that is because the chant of "You look stupid." That was really funny. For a long time I was indifferent toward Sheamus. Sorry, Frank Sorzi. He was, a decent worker in the ring. He looked like a wrestler, but he was distinct looking. But I didn't think he was over. I really kind of like. I think he's gonna be a good heel. He looks scary. He looks kind of scary, and I think it can work. I don't know, Rue. What do you think?
He was a babyface for so long that people forget that he came in as a heel.
That's correct.
He had a feud with John Cena. I believe that's when he won the title. They gave him the belt within a few months of debuting, I believe, maybe less than a year.
Didn't he win like the last King of the Ring?
I think. I don't know for sure, but that sounds familiar. I like the new look. I like the new attitude, and I said, I don't know, it must have been years that he's been that vanilla babyface awful character. It must have been over 3-4 years maybe, and it was just I was begging to turn. He has to be a heel, and it's gonna. I think he's gonna do very well for himself, and I don't mind the new look. I think he looks fresh with a new haircut and something different. He needed something different. I think he found it.
He kicked Daniel Bryan.
I don't mind the haircut as much as the beard. The beard is just, I don't know, too much. Breaking your beard like that is just, too much.
He looks like a pirate. He used with Daniel Bryan though, since he kicked Bryan. But anyway, Mr. Lane, buy or sell Sheamus's new look?
Oh, I buy it. I like it. I think it's like Rue was saying. I think, like Rue was saying a few seconds ago, his character was getting a little stale from a babyface point of view. He did also bring the fact that he did start as a heel,
right,
and then he eventually turned to a face, and now he's back to a heel again. So that's what's going on with that. I buy it. I buy his character, absolutely.
All right, well, we'll take a break from the WrestleMania talk. We'll have a main event to talk about. Let's get into some trivia. Before we do trivia, I wanted to get Mr. Z one word association. I'm going to give you a line person. I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to your head, okay? Okay. Byron Saxton.
Sucks.
All right. That's all I wanted from you. And we'll go into some trivia here. So,
can I elaborate on that a little bit before we get into some trivia?
Yeah, go ahead, Z.
I don't know if that was like staged or what on Raw. Before King came out, he was horrible doing Raw by himself on Monday, and that's why I say that he sucks.
Weird. It's weird. When I see him on the network, I'm like, he's not bad. He's pretty good. I like him. For some reason, when he came out there, his tone first was somber, and I got it because Michael Cole. He was supposed to be. He never perked up. He was like the same. You couldn't
Sleep-inducing.
And he wasn't even calling the match. I think that's why they brought Lawler out there to kind of progress the show a little bit. But let's get into the trivia. Enough of the Byron fact.
Lesnar had left the building. Wait, one more thing before we get into trivia. Lesnar was suspended, but did they show him leaving the building?
No.
I didn't see it.
The reason I say that is if he didn't leave the building, then naturally, if he's coming out there to announce, they probably told him to be nervous and jittery because what happened to the previous announcers. That's my to not sell it. I don't know. That's my opinion. But he was suspended, so I guess it goes without saying that he left, but they didn't show it.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk a little bit about that later. I know Mr. Lane has some strong feelings, but let's get into some trivia here. The topic of the trivia tonight will be WrestleMania 31. How convenient. So I have 5 questions here. Best of luck to you, Horsemen, and let's see what happens. Question number 1. Okay. What Grammy Award winner was featured in the opening package?
Hello.
Okay.
That is correct. I don't know if that was Z or Steve. I'm not sure.
I think Steve got it in before I finished.
I think Steve's. I heard Steve say L first, so I'll give it to Mr. Page there. I lost my pen, but that's okay. All right. Well, I'll just keep it in my head. All right. Question number 2. WrestleMania 31. Who was the first wrestler introduced?
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan is correct in the Intercontinental Ladder match. The official card was Daniel Bryan. So we have Z1 and Page 1. Okay. All right. Question number 3. What was? All right. No. Okay. Let's rephrase that. Ronda Rousey, MMA champion, stepped into the ring with The Rock, Stephanie, and Triple H. What was the famous line she uttered to Stephanie McMahon?
Why don't you make
I
me?
will twist your insides, your ovaries up, or something like that.
I don't think she said that. No, it was.
Say, I own this ring, or this is my ring, something like that.
I'll give it
She
to
definitely
Z.
said something about twisting her insides or ovaries up or something, but.
I'll give it to Z. The quote I was looking for was any ring I step into is mine. That's what I was looking for. So that got the biggest pop. So I thought that was the quote of the night. A lot of people were talking about that. So Z has 2. Mr. Page has 1. Okay. Question number 4. WWE Hall of Fame Saturday night. Who accepted for Randy Savage?
Lanny Poffo.
Oh,
That is right, Lanny Poffo, the genius. Mr. Z has a commanding 3-1 lead. However, this is the 5th question, but it's worth 2 points, so there can be a comeback here. So, question number 5. Oh, Biscotti, I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Bis. Hi, Bis. Hi, Bis.
Uncle Justin.
Oh, I miss her. All right, enough with the soft stuff. Anyway. All right, question number 5. Of all the matches at Mania, I'm going to go around the horn here, and I'm going to ask you the question, and you're going to give me both answers, okay? What was the longest match, and how long? And no cheating or peeking, okay? The longest match, and how long did it take? Okay? I'm going to start with Mr. Rue.
I'll say Sting Triple H, maybe 20 minutes.
20 minutes, okay. Steve, your guess.
I'm going to go Sting Triple H, and I will go 19 minutes.
All right, Mr. Lane.
I'm going to go Intercontinental Championship ladder match, maybe 23 minutes.
All right, Mr. Z.
Intercontinental title ladder match, 21 minutes.
Well, the correct answer is Sting and Triple H, and it was 18 minutes and 36 seconds. So Mr. Page gets both points and forces a tie with Mr. Z at 3-3. Wow, I wasn't prepared. I don't have another tiebreaker question. Mr. Rue, do you have any WrestleMania 31 questions you could think of to quiz these two guys as a tiebreaker?
Why don't we say how many titles changed hands at WrestleMania 31? Offhand.
3.
2.
All right, Z says
IC title and WWE title.
And the U.S. title, 3.
Oh, yeah. You're right, George.
Damn, Z takes it. Gets that last belt in there.
Biscotti's cheering.
Yeah, Z, get the sound effects. All right,
I wanted to forget that Cena won the United States Championship.
I had a question of my own, though, but it probably won't make the cut. And it's for anybody that wants. I'll ask a little trivia question of my own. How
Right.
many tombstones did The Undertaker do to Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania?
2.
Anybody?
2.
2? Good job, Mr. Z. That's correct. It was two tombstones. All right. Justin, back to you, sir.
My friend Mr. Z is a great trivia. He needs to play more Quizzo because he's just got a great trivia mind. Anyway, let's go to some other topics here. Let's go to Mr. Z. Back to you. On Raw last night, what would you say was the more impressive debut? Okay, would it be Adrian Neville, or the Lucha Dragons? What were you more impressed with?
Oh, definitely Adrian Neville. I'm not buying the whole Neville as his title. He should be Adrian Neville. But I really liked his debut. I think he's going to be, a definite force in the WWE. The Lucha Dragons, they're just repackaged guys that we've seen before. They're entertaining though. But definitely, I would say Adrian Neville. I was more impressed with.
All right, Steve. Speaking of Neville, does he have a future in the WWE? I mean, do you think he can, pull off what Daniel Bryan did?
I think he has a future in WWE. I think, him making his debut on Raw, and I know they, made debuts on Raw after Mania, but, they seem to be putting something into him, giving him the pyro, which, they don't do a lot of nowadays on Raw, so if they're giving him the pyro, that means they're investing something into him. They're investing money into him, as I figure it.
Yeah, Mr. Lane, not to put you on the spot, but what is Adrian Neville's nickname? What do they call him?
Oh, boy.
Man that grabbed the cup. Sorry, I had to answer.
Yeah, I didn't know. I think he's from. Well, he is from. Wait a minute, Newcastle, England, by the way. So I at least got that correct. So, but I think I see him. I see Adrian Neville, or whoever they want to call him. I think he'll be an Intercontinental Champion. I really do. I see him as a Intercontinental Champion, maybe a Tag Team Champion. So I see him maybe winning those 2 potential belts potentially. Because I think. Yep.
Drew, buy or sell Neville as a main eventer in the future?
Sell unless he gets a decent character and gives me a reason to care. I mean, honestly, you can do 5,000 flips in the air, and if you don't have any reason to care character-wise, the fans aren't going to give a darn, right, Biscotti?
I'm sorry. As you were talking, she was giving the most serious, stern look into the camera, like she was just like agreeing with what you said. Like yes, listen. That is funny. All right, let's move on here. What do I have here? By the way,
Scotty has her hand up.
All right, Miss Scotty, yes.
All right. Oh, she has to something's happening.
Okay. I don't understand why WWE chooses to bring in these tag teams that, like, the Lucha Dragons were entertaining, but they're never going to amount to anything. The guys that I dressed up as
Justin.
Yeah.
Can I pause right there?
Yeah.
Why do you think they're not going to amount to anything?
Because WWE never appreciates like an X Division kind of thing. Like they do good wrestling, and they can't really. They got masks on. When is the last time Rey Mysterio? But I don't know. It's just
What's another reason why you think that they're not going to do anything?
That's pretty much it. I mean, one more Sin Cara. I mean, why didn't they just change his name or something? He's got a mask on. I feel like Sin Cara is such a joke from the first time around.
I think the obvious reason is neither of them can speak English.
Well, that would make sense.
I mean, I don't want to sound offend anybody, but if you can't speak English and you're not cutting promos in American, English language, you're not going to get over.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's just like them bringing in the Lucha Dragons and, like I said, the freaking guys with the face paint. I can't think of their names. They're
the Ascension.
They're just dead wood. Like they're just there, and it's just I don't know. We can talk about that.
Let me say something about the Sin Cara guy. This is not the original Sin Cara, as we all know.
Right.
I think we all know that. That was formerly Hunico, was his former other gimmick that he had. I don't remember if when he was with that group, whatever it was called, if he ever spoke. Do you remember him ever speaking as Hunico?
If he did, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all I remember is him coming down with Camacho on that bike, and it was just like, I don't know.
Is there ever been I mean, Ray spoke pretty good English. I mean, he's from here. He's from San Diego, even though he's Mexican. But has there ever been a wrestler other than maybe Great Muta that's really gotten over big without speaking English? Ultimo Dragon? I don't know.
That's a good question.
That's a good one. All right, well, let's ponder that for next time. Let's move on. We still have 2 more big matches to talk about here. All right, The Undertaker against Bray Wyatt. Undertaker goes over here. Solid match, not one of the best of the night, but still good. You know, Taker looked like he was in great shape, better than the past 2 Manias. Looked like he slimmed down a little bit, looked good. You know, it was weird. Like, I think Stephen Page said on Twitter, like, Wyatt's entrance wasn't in the dark for once, and like people were still holding up cell phones. I don't know if that was you, Steve, or not. It was kind of funny, but
no, that wasn't me. No,
like
the entrance. This match was the match that I did not see because my Wi-Fi, as you know, sucks down here in South Carolina. That's the only thing I can't wait to get home to is good Wi-Fi.
All right, but when the ending of this match immediately made me think of CM Punk because he opened my eyes to like something like this. So the next night, Undertaker wins. Whoop-de-doo. He beats, he's 21-1. Great. Okay. He gets his paycheck. He gets his paycheck if he loses. Okay. The next night on Raw, Undertaker is not on Raw. He won. Bray Wyatt, who should be a main eventer, is a huge name, is not on Raw because they don't have anything for him, nothing to explain. Unless I missed Raw, some part of Raw, I don't think he was on. They have nothing. What are they going to do with him? Like, he lost at WrestleMania, so now they got to figure out how they're going to make him look like a good main eventer again. And it's like that's why CM Punk was like, all right, I'll lose to Taker, I'll lose to this guy, but what's the plans going forward? Well, Vince McMahon, what's the plans for Bray Wyatt? Because the fans love him, they have a strong reaction to him, but what's the plan for him here? Because
there is none. There is none. What about Dean Ambrose? His feud with Dean Ambrose. What happened there? Nothing. They just fought on TV. There was no storyline advancement. There was no character development. They had the hologram in the ring, and nothing happened. Nothing. They don't care. I don't know if they don't have plans for him going forward, but there's no signs of him getting a push anymore. Honestly, that's my opinion.
I just can't believe on a 3-hour Raw after WrestleMania they had no Bray Wyatt. It's like maybe they just mentioned Taker won, but how do you?
Unless they plan to repackage him, and then the whole deal was like, okay, you'll lose to Taker, and then we bring you back in 2 months.
That's what they did to Punk, though, right? Didn't they have him take time off, and then he came back?
I think, but wasn't he injured, though? I think.
True. That's when he got time off, I think. But
one thing I had a problem with was, I'll be real brief about this, and it was an awesome moment. Visually, it was one of the best moments of the night, but it was just logically didn't make sense in terms of Bray. Like, when Bray cowered to Taker when he sat up, that just exposed Bray for, Bray's supposed to be this fearful, kind of crazy lunatic type, prophet type guy, and he's scared of the Undertaker sitting up. That kind of hurt his character to me. That probably hurts his character to the casual fan, the younger fan who sees that and doesn't buy Bray as a badass anymore because he was afraid of the Undertaker. So now what? That hurts his character. That's my opinion.
Mr. Lane, buy or sell the finish to that match?
Well, I have to buy it. I knew The Undertaker looked good. I'm surprised we haven't talked that much about The Undertaker. I mean, I thought that Z and Ryan or Rue had talked about it briefly when they were in my apartment, that The Undertaker looked much better compared to the last few years, actually.
In shape.
So
shape.
Yeah, because he was in better shape. I thought he was. He looked good. Yeah. I mean, when he did his old school move, he looked good. I thought he looked excellent in the ring for the proper circumstances. I thought he looked great.
That always makes me nervous when he does the old school. He never messes it up, though. Anyway, Z, I wanted to get your take.
Wait a minute.
What? Oh, Biscotti. Z, the Taker does this every year, and it's a nice highlight of WrestleMania. But I sat back and I thought to myself, when is it going to be over, though? Because it's like, it's cool, but like, what else can he do? He's getting older. What else? And as far as storylines and matches, like, what else? I think somebody said it. I forget who else. Like Cena, I guess. I don't like. What else is there? Why can't Taker just be, the WrestleMania thing be done? He already lost, so what else is there? Just every year, just bring him back and face somebody? It just seems silly, right?
Yeah, I agree, and there's really nowhere else to go for Taker unless they do Taker Sting. But here's what me and your brother talked about at Mr. Lane's house on WrestleMania. Maybe Taker still wants to do it. And that's why they do this at WrestleMania every year. I don't know what his contract is like. I don't know if it's a yearly thing. Maybe he's still under contract. That's why he's obligated to do this. But I think ultimately it's left in his hands. I think Vince truly has respect for the Undertaker. That if Undertaker says, "I want to do it," Vince will let him do it. But I agree with what you were talking about earlier. He looked in much better shape physically than the past couple WrestleManias, and I think it showed in the ring. It was a good match.
Yeah, Steve, did you want to jump in there and say something?
I was just saying, clearly Vince obviously has respect for Undertaker. Obviously, he left the main event of WrestleMania last year to go to the hospital with the Undertaker, Mark Calloway, whatever you want to call him. And Vince doesn't leave a main event of WrestleMania for anybody.
Yeah. I mean, and Taker deserves respect. He's had a long career. He's a legend.
Now, I had another thought while I was thinking of that. I had two thoughts come into my head. Undertaker kind of had, I don't know, he had that dark, blackish hair and the leather pants. Kind of looked like he was two characters almost. Like he was the Undertaker of old, and he also was hinting that maybe next year at WrestleMania, he will come back in his home state as the American Badass.
Maybe. I mean, he is the American Badass. That's who he is. But the Undertaker is something else. But anyway, it was solid though. Nice addition to WrestleMania 31. But 9:57 here. Let's talk about the big event: Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. I'll just start it off. Man, I mean, Brock Lesnar's been around the block in WWE, and I've never been more impressed with him or satisfied, happy with. The way WWE's doing a good job booking the match, or whatever you say. When he went in there with Lesnar, they always do this where the first 10-15 seconds, it's really stiff and Lesnar got bloodied. Reigns looked I thought he might have got knocked out. It was really bad. Suplex City was amazing. He kicked the crap out of Reigns. I loved it, and it was believable how Reigns kind of came back and all that. The finish was great. Roman Reigns is a big man, a big Samoan. When he's standing in the ring and Lesnar is ready to suplex him, he looks like a little baby. I've never seen anything like it. That's how big Lesnar is. It was amazing. But I will. You know what? It's weird. I love wrestling matches, but I will pay money to see Brock Lesnar throw somebody around the ring. There's nothing more I love than Heyman yelling at him to do more. It's just great, and Raw was great too. But Rue, I know you kind of second what I think about you, but what do you think about Lesnar, where he goes from here, and how the main event went?
I think the main event was awesome. I think it was one of the most exciting WrestleMania main events that I've seen in years. By both. I mean, I give props to Roman Reigns because anytime you're in the ring with Brock Lesnar, props for taking that beating and props for selling for him like he did and was believable. So Roman Reigns has my respect. Of course, Seth Rollins there at the end. I mean, love the swerve at the end with Seth Rollins coming in, but Lesnar is just so fun to watch. I don't know any wrestler, and I've been watching since the 1987 or whatever it was, and I don't think there's ever been a wrestler as dominant and believable as Brock Lesnar. He's the best. He really is. My only wish is that I wish this was like the mid-'90s, and young Justin and young Ryan could see Brock Lesnar on Superstars beating up these jobbers. That would probably be the highlight of my weekend. If we see Dwayne Gill getting getting squashed by Brock.
Getting $50 to get squashed by Brock.
He basically he reminds me a lot of, I mean, not physically, but reminds me a lot of Vader, how he used to be in WCW, with he just so dominant and physical, realistic, stiff work, and I love Brock.
I'll turn it over to the other guys, but there was a point in that match. Reigns hurt Lesnar. No, Reigns made him bleed, and the camera had a shot on Lesnar, and he like realized that he was bleeding, and Lesnar went over to Reigns with his face on, and he knee kicked him. You know, he does like those knee kicks, and it looked like it hurt so bad. I thought they were gonna have to stop the match. He was hitting him so hard, and I was wincing.
Definitely did look like you mentioned earlier. Definitely did look like Roman. I don't know, was like maybe not realizing where he was.
Yeah, it looked, and I was wincing. I was like how I get sometimes when I'm watching UFC, and I'm like, oh, this is too violent. I was like, felt like that. But anyway, Mr. Z, we haven't heard from you in a while. This match, you know, what do you think of the end? And is it the right choice for Seth Rollins to come out champ rather than the other two?
As far as the match goes, definitely love the match. Brock, you know, he said in the SportsCenter interview that he's an entertainer, and you definitely see he loves being in front of the camera, being in the big moment like that, and it definitely shows in his work. Props to Roman Reigns, like you said, for taking that. I definitely thought Roman Reigns, he really impressed me. I was really impressed with how the main event unfolded, and then Rollins cashing in at the end really took me by surprise, because I thought for sure it was going to be just a squash. Me and Mr. Ryan talked about it. And then when Reigns started making that comeback, was that a Wolfman? Was that a Wolfman?
Scotty, what are you barking? He's barking at something. Wait a minute.
All right, Mr. Lane.
Yes.
No, I really liked it. I really liked it. But as far as the right way moving forward, yeah, I think so. I think Rollins has more depth to his character. Did you guys see any of the YouTube video where they slowed down the audio of the 3 count? And you can hear Seth Rollins say, he must have been mic'd up or something, but you can hear Seth Rollins like whisper to Roman Reigns while he's pinning him, "Thank you so much.
No.
Thank you for this." I don't know if it was fake. I saw it before April Fool's, but it was 2 Vine videos. One of the 3 count and one like that slowed everything down, and you can hear Seth Rollins, like his head is like by where Reigns' head is, and you can hear him say, "Thank you so much."
Z, you were just all about exposing the wrestling business tonight.
Oh my gosh! All right, well, I'll go. Like I was saying, and nope.
Go ahead, Lane.
I'm sorry, Mr. Link. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, yeah, I wanted to say something about that match at WrestleMania. As far as it's concerned, I said last week, if Seth Rollins had not cashed in the Money in the Bank, I think it would have been an opportunity lost, because that right there, and I think if people like it or not, it was an epic WrestleMania moment, like it or not, because he came in during the middle of the match, which I thought was brilliant. I thought it was an absolute brilliant move on the part of Seth Rollins to come in during the middle of the match, make it a triple threat match, and then he curb stomped Roman Reigns, because the fans were giving Reigns a lot of heat too. It was really reverse. Fans were booing Reigns and they were cheering Brock Lesnar. He got a lot more cheers too. I mean, from the San Francisco faithful, and they were booing Reigns. And then when Seth Rollins came out, that was a huge pop in its own right. So I think they got this. This is why I get an A-, because I like when he got involved. It's WrestleMania. It's an epic event, and that was an epic moment. Let's be real about it. It was a great moment. That's all.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was just a great Mania overall. Solid Raw. You know, not much more you could say about it. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add. I pretty much covered everything. You know, Ronda Rousey, Rue. She said on Twitter that it's not over yet. So I guess is she gonna do like a mixed tag thing with The Rock? Is that?
I would guess. I mean, I think eventually after her UFC career is over, she's going to go to WWE. I think that's her goal, because she's already doing acting, and she's such a big wrestling fan that we'll see her again probably full time. But in terms of that mixed tag, I think maybe next year at Mania, yeah. I can't see them doing that at SummerSlam. I don't know. I see that maybe next year. Yeah.
SummerSlam's in
Brooklyn.
New Jersey over there, so no, Brooklyn now. They should make it to Brooklyn.
Unless they do Brock versus Rock, and then they do that at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I caught The Rock on SNL last week. Dude's an entertainer. There's really funny skits. I don't really watch SNL too much anymore, but I caught his, and I was laughing almost every one of the skits he was in. So
I saw the one that you sent out, Justin, on Facebook. I only saw that one. I don't remember Coco something. That was pretty funny. Yeah.
Funny. Yeah, very funny. He had a couple other skits. There was one at him at a dinner table with forget the SNL player's name, but it was funny. But anyway, all right, that's about it for the wrestling. It's 10:06. I gotta get to bed, so we're gonna do final thoughts. And I wanted to mix in a little bit of baseball, but there's not much.
We can do that next week because the season will only be like 2 days old. So
season will be 2 days old. The Phillies will be 1-1. Mark my word, 1-1. Well, if we do it on Tuesday, they only have one game under the belt if it doesn't get rained out. So the Phillies will be 1-0. Mark my words. Cole Hamels will go out opening day and shut down Mr. Stephen Page's Red Sox by a final score of 3-1. Freddie Galvis with a solo home run. Chase Utley with an RBI double, and Jonathan Papelbon locks in the save against his former team. Knock it down. Let's go Fightins. Let's go Fightins. Z, your final thoughts.
my final thoughts. Really disappointed with some aspects of Monday Night Raw. Love the crowd, obviously. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was the highest rated, highest viewed Monday Night Raw in 5 years. Mr. Lane showing up 275 to 1. Mr. Lane, I hate to break this to you, but your Braves fucking suck. Also, the thing that I didn't like about Raw was that it just was the same old crap after WrestleMania. They never compounded on any of the storylines. It's going to fall right back into the rut that it's been in before WrestleMania started. So, again, I'll echo Mr. J. Let's go Braves. But, Mr. Lane, your Braves, let's go Phillies. Mr. Lane, your Braves have no shot this year either. So, I don't know why you're going to mock the Phillies.
All right, they mocking him. Mr. Page, any final thoughts on Mania or anything?
Dinner rolls.
This isn't on Mania. This is more, on a comedy legend and a movie that has been that Rue had sent out a picture this morning of 20 years since Tommy Boy has been released. One of my all-time favorites. Rest in peace, Chris Farley. I believe you have a cat or dog named Farley?
Yeah, we have a cat named Farley after Chris Farley. Yep, you're correct.
There we go. Rest in peace, Chris Farley. Great actor.
Absolutely.
Great comedic actor.
Great.
Also on SNL.
Yeah, just great overall. You just described him as great. Rue, your final thoughts.
Before I get to my final thoughts, to piggyback off your Atlanta Braves Phillies, I have tickets for April 25th, the first Saturday night game at the bank against those Atlanta Braves at 7:05 p.m. Just letting you know, if any of y'all are going to be there, I'll be there with my wife Michelle, and we'll be at the game that night. So
I heard a rumor, not a rumor, but a statement that they will be selling hard alcohol at Phillies games this year.
They won't be, or they will be?
They will be on the concourse, on the general concourse for the first time. And Mr. Lane is booing, and I don't understand why he is booing.
Well, I sell that. But anyways, I'll go to my final thoughts as well. By the way, this was from WIP from what I heard yesterday. They were like 275 to 1 to win. But I know the Braves, it's a hit or miss for them. And by the way, I should have got this.
I want to break it to you. It's a miss.
Anyway, let me finish there, sir. Anyway. I got a video game right here, gentlemen and ladies, whoever are watching this show. I have right here the MLB 15 to show 10th anniversary edition.
You open that?
SEL League. Yes. What's up?
Did you play it yet?
I have yet to play it. I've yet to open the case. I was getting myself prepared for this show. I'll probably play this thing as soon as I get off this telecast.
Do they, Mr. Lane, do they know you by name at GameStop in Turnersville?
Yeah, well, they know who I am there. Absolutely,
yeah.
man. They know who I am. So I got this game. But by the way, is you can see this team right here, the Los Angeles Dodgers. For a preview of next week's show, I'll just say this much. I personally think it's going to be these two teams in the World Series. I'm going to say it right now. Detroit Tigers and St. Louis Cardinals in the World Series. But we'll talk about that next week on the Horsemen Hangout. Baseball preview.
We will talk about that next week. I don't know if I agree with your Detroit Tigers there, as Justin Verlander looks like he will struggle this year. There he is. There's that Tiger roar there.
Mr. Rue, you had said something at the beginning of the show about a former classmate. Everything okay?
I'm going to save my my announcement for next week because I'm kind of distraught about the announcements. It involves a Del C classmate that I actually graduated with. Y'all probably don't remember, but I don't feel like talking about it right now.
Mr. Lane, do you know what he's talking about?
I am clueless, but, next week, Tigers and Cardinals in the World Series. Baseball preview next week right here on the Horseman Hangout. So stay tuned, everybody.
All right, everybody. Happy April Fool's Day. Have a great week, and take care of yourself. We'll see you next week. Rejoice, everybody. Baseball's back. We'll have something to watch every night. So, guys, thanks for joining us. It's been the Horseman Hangout. Right on. I can see you guys next week.